Yes guys, hope you're all well. So this is going to be a video documentary style about how Dragon Ball Z has influenced the fitness community. Since the release of Dragon Ball Z, I've noticed that gym rats, amateur bodybuilders, powerlifters and professional sports persons have always been interested in Dragon Ball Z, either just for the anime, the entertainment, but also for motivation towards what they're doing and achieving. The first instance of this is when I saw a video with other than OG YouTuber Nick Wright, where he was talking about George Lehman. I think he was deadlifting 800 pounds plus, and he had a Gohan Super Saiyan 2 phone case. I even noticed Phil Heath talk about it in an interview. And then the obvious one, Kai Green, Simeon Panda. I think this guy's called Ulysses Jr. He did the little fusion dance, making out, they were fusing into Kai Green, like Gotenks and Trunks do in the anime. So this got me thinking, there must be others that are also into Dragon Ball Z, and also, why are they into Dragon Ball Z? This video is going to take a deep dive into Dragon Ball Z, how it impacts and the key lessons to take away from the anime, to why so many bodybuilders, sparring influencers, cringe, and gym rats love Dragon Ball Z so much. Dragon Ball Z history. Dragon Ball Z is the sequel to the original series Dragon Ball, created by Akira Toriyama in 1984, and Dragon Ball Z was in 1989. Dragon Ball is about a kid named Goku with a monkey tail with beyond superhuman strength, hint hint, who lives in the forest with his grandpa Gohan. That name probably sounds familiar. Shortly into the series, Goku befriends a teenage girl named Bulma, who is on the search for 7 mystical Dragon Balls, in which Goku unknowingly possesses one of them, Grandpa's 4-star ball. As the plot progresses, familiar characters you all probably know, such as Master Roshi, Krillin, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, the Ox King, Oolong and Korin. Goku and Krillin eventually end up staying with Master Roshi and receive training from him through various strength, endurance and durability tests to help them. As the story progresses, we slowly see Goku take on numerous foes such as Emperor Pilaf, the Red Ribbon Army, King Piccolo and Piccolo Jr. He ends up victorious in each bout, learning valuable lessons along the way. We also see the protagonist fight in the Martial Arts World Tournament twice, to which Goku faces off against once foe, for now, and now friend Tion Shenhon. Eventually, towards the end of the story, he beats King Piccolo and Piccolo Jr., now known as just Piccolo, in the 45th World Martial Art Tournament. This brings us on to Dragon Ball Z. That's Dragon Ball over. So, Dragon Ball Z. This starts in the future, where Goku and his son Gohan, remember that name from before, named after his grandpa, who he may or may not have accidentally murdered when he turned into a giant ape. We'll get to that. Dragon Ball Z starts, they're out hunting, and then they go back towards home to his wife Chi-Chi, probably remember her from Dragon Ball. Suddenly, a strange sphere glides at high speed and crashes into a farmer's field next to these weird creatures who don't even know what they are. After a brief interaction with the farmer, the Saiyan, known as Raditz, emerges and shoots the poor bloke, and proceeds to find Goku on his scouter and flies to him. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, everyone can now fly. They're performing a technique called sky dancing, which was first used by Tien Shenhon in the world's martial art tournaments, and now everyone can just do it. One of them, bit of a retcon. After Raditz finds Goku, he drops a bombshell that Goku is his brother, and Goku is actually from an alien race called the Saiyans, another retcon. And in fact, his actual Saiyan name is Kakarot. A lot to take in on a Tuesday afternoon, I know. He then explains how the Saiyan race is a strong warrior race, and after a short exchange and some classic Dragon Ball Z filler, they get into a fight, which Kakarot loses valiantly, and Uncle Raditz decides to kidnap his nephew and fly into the distance. After Kakarot, Goku, heals after being beaten, he recruits a former enemy, now friend, Piccolo, to fight Raditz, because he can't do it on his own. Raditz is significantly stronger than both of them. The ending of the fight concludes with Piccolo using his special beam cannon to eradicate Raditz. Just before Raditz snuffs it, he tells them there are 2 more powerful Saiyans on the way to Earth 1 year from now. But he kills Goku as he was holding Raditz with a special beam cannon. Just before he passes into the next dimension, the Dragon Balls are brought up, and how once all 7 are collected, he can be brought back using one of the wishes. Goku goes up to King Yama's check-in station and then onto Snake Way. He then eats a single bean that somehow keeps him full and full of sustenance for months on end, not to be tried at home, and embarks on a trip of trials and tribulations through training and fighting until he gets to King Kai's planet. Now, this is where the real training starts. King Kai has him doing various parts of training, such as chasing a monkey called Bubbles, push-ups, and eventually weight training and a lot of fighting. All whilst on a planet, King Kai's planet, which is 3 times gravity compared to Earth, essentially resistance training. As many times as he falls and slips up, he always gets back up and continues. Flash forward to Nappa and Vegeta, the 2 Saiyans Raditz was talking about, arriving on the scene whilst Goku is on his way back to Earth from Snake Way after completing his training. In the meantime, they fight until the Z fighters arrive on the scene to put a stop to this nonsense. Tien, Yamcha, Krillin and Piccolo are all looking swole as fuck, along with Chaozu, and start scrapping. In short, thanks to the Saibuman blowing themselves up, it doesn't go too well. They're in a bad way. But then Goku arrives on the scene with his Senzu beans, gives them to everyone, and then the real fight starts. The fight goes rough, both looking absolutely jacked. Even Vegeta transforms into a great ape. Then there's a realisation that Goku actually killed his grandpa. It wasn't some crazy monster, it was Goku. But in the end, Goku and Vegeta have a very good fight. Vegeta ends up going back in his ship and going back where he came from. They end up pretty epic. Vegeta does his final flash? No, his Gallic gun, and Goku is doing a Kamehameha, one of those classic Dragon Ball scenes where it's key against key. Not too many qualms there because they both fought great. It was a great fight, and they'll both come back stronger due to the Saiyan's ability called Zenkai. Zenkai is essentially where you're beaten to an inch within your life and you recover. It makes you very much stronger. A little bit how you train your muscles to failure, then you rest adequately, have the adequate nutrition, and the muscles come back stronger. With the fatalities, it's now time to gather the Dragon Balls again and revive the gang. Now there's a little bit of filler with Piccolo, the creator of the Dragon Balls, died, so they actually can't bring everyone back, and then they have to fly to Planet Namek with a load of green blokes that look like Piccolo to find someone to use their Dragon Balls to bring Piccolo back to then bring everyone else back. A little bit complicated. But now we'll move on to the next part, which is probably the best part of the entire Dragon Ball Z franchise, the Frieza saga. Bulma, Krillin and Gohan arrive on Planet Namek and mess around for a little bit, and then it becomes evident that they are not the only visitors to the planet. Turns out Vegeta, Nappa and Raditz's scouters acted as comms for Frieza, and he heard everything. Now this Frieza guy isn't a nice bloke at all. He's responsible for destroying the entire planet of Vegeta and eradicating pretty much all the Saiyans from existence. Yes, Vegeta is named after the planet. Very, very pretentious. But we'll get more to that. Now, while this is all going on, Goku is fucked up. He's seen better days and he's just about recovered. So, what's the first plan of action to do when he wakes up from a coma? He goes to steal a spaceship, of course. But not any old spaceship. Capsule Corp's very own, which has a built-in gravity manipulator for training, an unlimited amount of food, and just everything you need to be comfortable travelling for a few light years across to the next galaxy. So he sets off. So he steals it and sets off. But he's not chilling. He immediately gets to training. A combination of free weight, body weight and gravity machine exercises. At first he can't even walk, but after a few weeks, maybe months on the ship, he's able to do a handstand with 2 fingers and do push-ups with that stance easily. He's eating good and he's getting sleep and rest. So what does this tell us? At first, you'll suck at something, but the more you keep pushing, if you keep failing and you keep trying and don't give up, you can overcome it and you can achieve your goal. If you put your mind to something and stick with it, you can get there. A perfect analogy for fitness. While this is all going on, the Z fighters are with King Kai training hard themselves, trying their best to keep up with how Goku did with King Kai. Krillin and Gohan go off looking for the Dragon Balls and find a few and get into it with Frieza's henchmen, but manage to get away. And then none other than Vegeta arrives, fully recovered from the last battle and came back even stronger due to the Zenkai boost I talked about earlier. Then the Ginyu Force arrives. I love these guys, don't know why I've spot on the script. Fungi. We once did a Ginyu Force pose down for a club photo, it was jokes. Eventually Goku lands on Namek literally in the nick of time, has it with Captain Ginyu and changes bodies, eventually gets his body back, but he's battered. That was a very good clip. Goes into a Bacta tank, it's called like the medicine machine, but it reminds me of the one on Mandalorian, you know, when he goes in and he recovers, and it repairs him back to full health. And then they get what's called a Zenkai boost, which I talked about earlier. This is essentially where the Saiyan gets beaten within an inch of his life, and then when he recovers, he comes back stronger than ever. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Now, Vegeta is at it with Frieza, and then Frieza has just completely embarrassed Vegeta. Complete violation, bodies him. Goku has recovered, coming to fight Frieza. Vegeta gives some crazy speech about Saiyan pride, and then pretty much dies, but not quite. And now it's time for the best part. As the fight progresses, Frieza has various transformations, all sick, but it isn't going to go well for him. When we're getting to the serious fighting, Frieza throws a cheap shot and stabs Krillin with his horns, then launches in and blows him up. Now Krillin is Goku's best friend all the way back from the Dragon Ball original series, who's just been murdered, and Goku is not happy with this at all. He's filled with rage and pain and he's had enough. Then boom, Super Saiyan transformation. First one of the series, not to be confused with the full Super Saiyan transformation, which was in one of the movies, and it is sick. I'll put the scene up.
I won't let you get away with this! I won't let you!
After this transformation, it's almost a done deal for Goku. He's way stronger and tries to show some remorse to Frieza. He also has this slapping scene which is used for a lot of memes. But Frieza takes this kindness for granted. He tries to excuse Goku's kindness for weakness. So Goku ends him once and for all. Well, for at least 50 episodes or so. You know, the one where Planet Namet's going to blow up in 2 minutes and 5 20 minutes episodes later, it's still not blew up yet. But what have we learned from this? If you feel some type of way about your situation, use it. Use your negative feelings as motivation. Don't ignore them. Just don't react negatively. If you're feeling happy with something in your life, whether that's your physique, your current situation, make sure you access the actions that can be managed. Control the variables, take action and get to work. The path isn't going to be easy by any means, but pick your pain. The pain of just letting it slide and going on with your life, not achieving anything, or the pain and discipline it takes to achieve your goals and your dreams. You get what I mean. Fast forward, now we're into the Android and Cell saga. Now we have the introduction of my favourite character, Future Trunks. Trunks comes out of nowhere in some mad time machine like Sup. But before, an unexpected guest also arrives, Frieza. Let's call him Meta Frieza because he's, all geared up. He's had the iOS update. He's basically Frieza, but after Goku finished and he was floating around in space, he had to be repaired, so he's like kind of half android now. He gets out of his ship with a Shaquille O'Neal sized father, King Cold, who starts talking shit. Little does he know, this guy Trunks is about to repent for numerous chefings and get chingy with it with Frieza. Trunks chops him up into pieces like it was nothing, literally like nothing. The guy who was the main enemy for the whole past saga, took over 100 episodes to defeat him, was chopped up and resorted to pizza toppings. All the Z fighters can't believe their eyes. And now, to throw another chip into the mix, Goku turns up. But Goku ain't well. After he has a little interaction with Trunks, he tells him where he's been for the past year. What a great dad. He comes showing off various techniques. Trunks tries to chop him up with his sword. Goku deflects it with literally one finger. Super Saiyan finger. No comment. Keep your dirty minds to yourself. But it turns out Goku isn't well. Trunks explains that the Goku from his timeline got a heart disease, which Goku is shortly about to get, which finishes him off, and there's trouble coming. But luckily, Trunks has a time machine, and he has the medicine in it. He gives Goku the medicine, and then he fucks off, and then he goes. Fast forward, the guys are training for this threat that's coming in a year, which turns out to be the androids, which we'll get into in a second. They all meet up, but things have changed. Because Trunks came back in the time machine, he's kind of changed the timeline, so everything is not what it seems. They go to West City, try and find the androids, something's happening, but they end up deterring from there to find the two androids. As they square off with the androids, which is Dr. Gero and Android 16, I think it is, Vegeta emerges, and then he drops the bombshell on us. Vegeta, with arguably the second best transformation in the whole series, has now unlocked the Super Saiyan transformation. Vegeta achieved this transformation by going to various planets, reflecting, training, and spending time in isolation to work on himself to finally achieve this goal and to try and surpass Kakarot Goku. He's been putting in the reps for hours and finally achieves the legendary Super Saiyan transformation.
Single-mindedly, I dedicated myself to becoming stronger. Soon, though, my limits were painfully clear. What? Can't I surpass Kakarot? When I truly owned the self-hatred that realization brought, the Super Saiyan within me erupted to life. I'd never known such elation.
The lesson behind this is even when the odds are stacked against you, you don't give up. You never know how close you are to winning, but if you give up, you have to keep trying. After Vegeta proceeds to take out the two androids, almost two of the androids, one of the androids turns out to be none other than Dr. Gero. After a short bit of filler, they chase Dr. Gero, he goes back to his lab, and he awakens androids 17 and 18. They end up fighting, and the Z fighters end up losing. After some short filler, the Z fighters realise they need to train for this guy because there's an even stronger opponent, which turns out to be Cell. Cell is basically an android who has the DNA of all the Z fighters. You know, apparently this little insect's been going around taking everyone's DNA, putting it into Cell to make him the ultimate perfect being. He can use all the Z fighters' techniques and is pretty unstoppable. Piccolo comes. Piccolo puts up a good fight, but he is no match for this. Piccolo actually fused back with Kami because back in the original series, Piccolo separated himself into two beings, the evil and the good version. Then King Piccolo was defeated. He spat out an egg before he died. Turns out to be Piccolo. And now Piccolo has fused back with Kami to go back to the original Namekian form. Piccolo puts up a good fight, but he turns out to be no match. Cell ends up absorbing a lot of the humans. That's his power. He absorbs people's life energy, makes them stronger. And his goal in life is to absorb the two androids to become the perfect being. Through each absorption of the androids, not the humans, he actually transforms. Not once, not even twice, but thrice. Now there's no chance of beating him. The only option is to start training, but there's not enough time. So they head up to Kami's place, which obviously isn't being run by Kami now because Kami's fighting, and they go into the hyperbolic time chamber. The hyperbolic time chamber is a place outside of this realm, and time and space works differently. Each day in the time chamber is the equivalent of 1 Earth year. So it gives you a perfect time to train in perfect isolation. Things similar to isolating yourself in the gym. Maybe you're on a cut for a contest prep, maybe you're just a normal guy like me who wants to get into shape, but they're using all their time and focusing on nothing but the task ahead and eliminating all distractions so you can accomplish your goal. First goes Trunks and Vegeta, father and son. Although I have to mention baby Trunks is born now, so there's a future older version of Trunks and there's the kid Trunks, so not the kid, the future Trunks goes in with Vegeta. Obviously Trunks enjoys this because his father was destroyed in his timeline, so he's having some quality time with his father beating the absolute shit out of him. After a long old graft, they emerge with a new form. We'll call it Super Saiyan 1.5. It's stronger than the normal Super Saiyan form, but it's very bulky and slow. Vegeta gets humbled big time against Cell. Cell understands the weakness behind it and he exploits it. Now Trunks steps in, but the outcome is the same. This transformation from Trunks is epic. This is my favourite form by him. He looks huge. He's slightly stronger than Vegeta as well. He doesn't really like it, but then he realises it's his son, so he's kind of happy about it. Whilst this is all happening, Goku and Gohan have gone into the time chamber, training and eating as best as they can. There is some shortcuts from this, but we'll go into this after. Essentially, Gohan not only turns Super Saiyan in the time chamber, but also another 2 forms too. Well, Goku does the Super Saiyan 1.5, Gohan kind of surpasses it. When they emerge, things are different. They're in their Super Saiyan form, but they are chilling. Normally this form exerts a lot of energy, and it's very hard to maintain, but Goku and Gohan have mastered this. They've came out with blonde hair, no aura, just chilling in the Super Saiyan form. They should have really expanded on this further in the anime, but it kind of never came up again. They can now go to sleep, eat and do everyday tasks in Super Saiyan form. Now the filler commences. We all know what Dragon Ball Z is like for filler. Cell now sets a date for a world martial art tournament. The final tournament before he blows up the world and all the people doing it. The training is done, now it's just time to chill and think of a plan. Fast forward to the tournament, there's reporters, Mr. Satan Hercules there, we'll get into that. The first round start, the Z fighters eventually against Cell Juniors. But don't be fooled, while they look harmless, Yamcha, Krillin and Piccolo are no match. These guys are replicas of Cell, they're all exactly the same strength of Cell. They're not weaker than him, opposed to their appearance. Even Trunks and Vegeta are having a rough time against them. Goku gives it a good shot, has a face-off with Cell, but eventually it turns out that Goku has to use his new instant transmission technique because Cell is threatening to blow up the planet. So what does Goku do? He transfers them to King Kai's planet, and ends up blowing up King Kai and Goku, but Cell miraculously survives after he self-destructs, leaving everyone still alive feeling distraught. And just as they acknowledge his sacrifice, they come to realise it was all in vain. Cell comes back, looks like he's adopted the Saiyan Zenkai boost, so he's come back even stronger, the one we talked about before. And this is too much for Goku to handle. He actually came back even stronger. This was now the perfect version of Cell, so he was even stronger than before. Gohan puts up a good fight, ends up injuring his arm, and he feels a lot of rage, not trippy red. This feeling pushes him over the edge and he transforms, not to Super Saiyan 1.5, but to the official Super Saiyan 2. His hair is more spiky now. He's covered in this blue and yellow static lightning that pulses around him, not white lightning like the drink. He fights, it's going well, but he damages his arm. He can't use it. Eventually the fight comes down to a key-to-key blast, 2 Kamehamehas, Kamehameha. How have I got far? How have I got this far into the video about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z without talking about the most important move of the entire series? So this little battle of the energy beams is going on. Cell starts to win, but then Goku hears a voice. Gohan hears a voice. It's Goku from Otherworld. He's telling Goku, you know, all the things he needs to hear to do it. Then it ends up being the father-son Kamehameha. Goku's there in spirit helping him. Speaking to him in the other world, he gives him strength he needs to defeat Cell. And after, Cell is blasted into a million pieces and concludes the end of the Cell saga. Now, how does this relate to fitness? A lot of things. It signifies that sometimes what you think is your best can sometimes not be enough. But when the going gets tough, you have to dig deeper than you ever have before to find the strength to achieve your goal. Deeper than you ever have. Deeper than you ever have before. This is relevant to a lot of things. Powerlifting, 1 rep max, hitting weights you've not hit before. You'll have to find strength you've never witnessed before. Kind of like Eddie Hall. You know how Eddie Hall talks about how he deadlifted 500 kg. He had to do a lot of weird stuff with that, a lot of mental prep. He also loves Dragon Ball Z as well. Always see him and his son on Instagram in Dragon Ball t-shirts. And they always play it on the Nintendo Switch, etc. Always talking about Dragon Ball. Strongest people in the world love Dragon Ball Z. Everyone loves it. Or it can just relate to regular gym goers like myself. I am a coach, but you know, I'm no bodybuilder, I'm no powerlifter. I do like to partake in them, but definitely not a professional. Who just want the best for themselves. Sometimes it gets tough, especially when you're dieting. My transformation, for example, this was 45 weeks from January 2022 to November 2022. I had to go to places I've never been before mentally to help me achieve this transformation. 76 pounds down. If you do want coaching, want a transformation like any of these guys, let me know. I do have slots available. I'd argue that the average gym goer has to find even more motivation than a professional athlete. Reason being is, you've not got a huge goal like they have. They may be representing their county, their country. All we're trying to do is look good, to be the best version of ourselves, and that can be hard to materialise in your head, the work that has to go in there to actually achieve this. Maybe it's just to be healthier, maybe it's to get girls, that sort of stuff. It's not like an instant win, like winning a competition. There's no clear-cut end to this goal unless you book a photo shoot or something like that. But you have to enjoy the process. You hear that a lot, but it's true. I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. I think it's also telling you that you need a support network around you as well. If you're surrounded by the wrong people who don't want what's best for you, it makes everything just that little bit harder. So find your people. The Buu Saga. Goku and the gang are weighing in for one of the World Martial Art Tournaments. Goku is dressed like the Great Saiyaman. I think we'll skip that bit from existence. There's a new movie with him in, haven't seen it yet, probably will watch it at some point. And the rest of the gang is queuing up to smack the punch machine. Of course, Vegeta completely demolishes the punch machine, which had to be prepared before the World Tournament started, before the tournament even started. Now the tournament starts, but something's off. 2 fighters named Spopovich and Yamu are abnormally strong for mere humans. They're actually starred in previous World Martial Art tournaments and they're ridiculously more stronger. There's also a strange pinky bluish guy who's starting in the tournament, who's calling himself Shin. I think that's a play on Shin Ramen. All the sayings are named after vegetables and various foods. He has a mohawk. He doesn't seem too strong, but he really is. He's not showing it. Beats the absolute dog shit out of Mr. Satan's daughter, now girlfriend, Videl. And Goku can't handle it. He's filled with rage and he transforms into a Super Saiyan. Yamu starts going crazy and ends up absorbing the power of Gohan with his machine instrument of some sort. And he flies off. The fact that they can fly is also off because they were never this powerful to even fly. Something is up. When they fly off, the gang follow them and they are led back to the Demon King Deborah. Deborah is being controlled by Bibidi through Margin magic. You can tell because they both have the letter M on their forehead, stands for Margin, Margin Buu. The Z fighters arrive into Bibidi's spaceship, Vegeta, Gohan and Goku and Shin, and the battle commences. Vegeta versus Pui Pui, Goku versus Yakon, and Gohan versus Deborah. All good fights, but nevertheless a bit of filler. Obviously the Z fighters win, and Vegeta tries to blow up the ship. After the Supreme Kai, which is Shin, turns out to be a god, informs Vegeta this will be a terrible idea, he doesn't go ahead with it. But something is wrong with Vegeta. Seems like he's just got a bad migraine at first, but this in DBZ, so we know full well that something is wrong. It's Bibidi, he's in Vegeta's head. He's promising immeasurable power so he can finally fulfill his lifelong goal of surpassing Goku, Kakarot. And obviously, he gives in and has the same letter M appear on his head, just like Deborah, just like X, just like X. He flies to the World Martial Art Tournament back over there, to the stadium, and starts killing civilians. Goku and the gang aren't happy about this. Eventually, they move away from the civilians and make their way to a secluded area when Goku and Margin Vegeta fight it out. After Goku eventually loses, or as it seems, I also came to know that Goku was actually holding back. What it shows you, as close as you may be to your friends, if you're on a similar path, they will always see you as competition when it comes down to it. It's every man for themselves. Same as any competition. Everyone wants to win. They want to see you win, but they never want to see themselves be surpassed by you. They're always going to want to see themselves win first. It's just human nature. It reminds me of a rivalry between bodybuilders Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman. They obviously like each other, but they are rivals at the end of the day, both competing for the Olympia crown. More recent, probably Kai Green and Phil Heath. I'm sure they were friends at one point, but as soon as they're on that stage, it's all out war. And now the dreaded has happened. Margin Buu has awoken. Straight on the attack, Vegeta goes in, but it's no use. Buu is eating the punches, it's no good. Trunks, Piccolo and Goten start rooting, but it's no use. After a final embrace with his son Trunks, Vegeta knocks him out, along with Goten too. Yeah, he knocked out his own son. Nearly as great as a father as Goku. He brings them to Piccolo, getting them out of the way, and then goes back to Buu. Vegeta then proceeds with his ultimate attack, Final Flash, but this one's different. It takes every last morsel and bit of his energy, and he ultimately sacrifices himself to take out Buu. He's instantly turned into stone. Buu is in a million pieces, but wait. Nah, you're joking. Man blew himself up and didn't even win. Small bits of Buu start moving. They're slowly crawling back to each other and form back together to his original form, like nothing happened. Now Goku is actually still dead, if I didn't mention before, but he's back for a day for the tournament. He goes to face Margin Buu. Now this part is probably the best part of the entire anime, opposed to the first Super Saiyan transformation. He starts taunting Buu. He shows him his power. First he goes Super Saiyan, then Super Saiyan 2, and lastly, the most epic transformation going, Super Saiyan 3. Just watch this, it's sick.
You're going to love this. Trust me, what you're seeing now is my normal state. This is a Super Saiyan. And this This is what is known as a Super Saiyan that has ascended past a Super Saiyan. Or, you could just call this a Super Saiyan 2.
What a useless transformation. You've changed your hair, so what?
Just wait.
Has he really found a way to surpass an Ascended Saiyan? Is that possible?
He must be bluffing. I mean, what would that make him? Double Ascended?
And this
What's he doing?
Is to go even further beyond!
No, stop it, Goku! If you do this now, it's going to drain away all the time you have left on Earth. And I'd say you need every second of it as it is.
Anyway, after the fight, it goes well with Goku. Goku is actually winning, but he has limited time because he's back for one day visiting. He's actually still dead. And he has to go back to Otherworld, and this transformation kind of zapped his energy and took the remainder of his time left on Earth. But before he goes, he promises Boo an ultimate fighter, but he has to wait 11 days. Fast forward, we've got a little bit of filler. Boo kind of goes to live with Mr. Satan in the secluded area. Actually goes quite well. We think Boo's not going to attack anymore. They have a dog, but something happens, the dog dies, and then this crazy transformation happens where Boo essentially gets very angry and he expels in pure evil form of himself, cuts into two, kind of like Piccolo did in the original series. But when they fight, the evil version absorbs the nice version of Boo. So now it's evil Boo, but he's even stronger than before and has very bad intentions. So before the Z Fighters manage to gather the Dragon Balls together, Boo is terrorising everywhere. He's trying to kill everyone on Earth. He goes to various planets. He actually goes to this otherworld planet where Goku is training with Gohan and tries to blow it up, but he doesn't do it in the end, because obviously if you're dead in Dragon Ball and you die again, I think that's pretty much it. There's no saving you. Now, he ends up at Kami's lookout. He's too impatient. He doesn't wait the full amount of time to wait for the fighters, but the Z Fighters are standing there. Piccolo starts to distract him while Goten and Trunks are in the hyperbolic time chamber training to try and defeat Boo. Basically, the gym. Eventually, he actually ends up in the time chamber when he's kind of tricked by Piccolo, stuck in there with Goten and Trunks, but they fuse into what's known as Gotenks. This is Goten and Trunks fused together. He's very strong, and they actually go Super Saiyan 3 after witnessing Goku do it. They only do that thing where they were mentally seeing them through telepathic powers. Piccolo seals the door. They're trapped in that dimension. But Boo gets very angry. He screams and gets out. Eventually, Gotenks gets out, but it's useless. They can't do anything. The time is up. They unfuse. Boo's on one again, tries to destroy everyone on Earth. He goes down to the surface and faces the now back to Earth, newly unlocked powers, Ultimate Gohan, who's been training with Goku and the Kais. He's the strongest he's ever been. In Dragon Ball, Gohan was supposed to surpass Goku, but Goku was too popular, so it didn't end up happening. He fights Piccolo, Gohan, and Vegeta, which is Vegeta and Goku fused with the earrings. But he pretty much absorbs them all, long story short. While inside Boo, Goku and Vegeta actually split their fusion. They were turned into chocolate, to which Boo ate the chocolate. That was their plan all along. And they start to let free the people that are inside Boo, being held on by his absorption powers, including the other Boo. But as they free everyone, Boo starts to transform back into previous states. Looks pretty cool, to be fair. But Vegeta and Goku actually released the other Boo, which was a bad mistake. Reason being is, Boo is pure evil. The fact he's absorbed the other Boo is making him not a complete arsehole, so to stop him from killing everyone. So what do you think happens when they cut off the tie with the nice Boo? He turns back into pure evil. Now this is even more powerful than all the other forms before, because he had some element of good in him from the other people he was being absorbed by. But now he's let these guys go. He's literal pure evil. And guess what he does? He blows up the earth. A few of the Z fighters managed to get away. They use Goku's instant transmission to teleport to the planet of the Kais. Now, the Kais have something called instantaneous movement, so they don't need instant transmission, but they can go to pretty much any point in the universe at any time due to their godlike powers. But there's no time for grief. Boo literally finds them within seconds. After Boo finds them, it's the final showdown. Vegeta and Goku versus Boo. It's a tough fight for the Saiyans. They are both getting absolutely battered and destroyed. Vegeta is fine. Vegeta is done for, so that just leaves Goku left. Just when we thought Goku was done for, he uses his ultimate attack, the Spirit Bomb. But it's not going too well at first. Boo is able to push back, but then Vegeta distracts him, so Goku can gather even more energy to try and defeat him. But then he uses this epic part of the anime. He asks everyone in the universe to put their hands in the air and spare them his energy, to which they comply because they know what's going on.
Everybody's help for this won't work! Raise your hands up now! We're out of time! We'll fight Majin Buu on our behalf.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Raise your hands, do it now! Goku, please take our power and use it to defeat Buu! Right?
But I know that voice.
Big fella.
This is every bit of energy I've gained through my training. I give it all to you. Use it, Goku.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's definitely him. Those were the days.
What?
That's little Goku?
That's right! I wasn't gonna say anything, but now it seems my secret's out. Hey, what other choice do we have? My fans would never believe that I'm not the one who's saving the day here.
There we go! Yeah! There it is! Get out of the way, Vegeta! Now! Let's go! Vegeta! You gotta get out of there!
You big sissy! Don't worry about me! Just throw the thing!
And now as for you, Boo, well, I'm sending you to hell! Go!
After a wish from the Dragon Balls, Earth is restored, and one of the last wishes they use is to restore Goku his full energy so he can defeat Majin Buu once and for all. And they end up doing it. Now there's a little bit extra to the story here, but I'm going to stop reminiscing about the Dragon Ball Z story and just talk about this final important lesson which the anime teaches you. No matter what gets you down in life, you have to keep getting back up. This was executed perfectly. When Goku was already down, he was literally dead. The odds were stacked against him. He got beat by Vegeta, well, so he wanted you to believe. But he didn't give up. He kept getting knocked down, but he kept getting back up to finally defeat Buu. And he came back and won. Now, what does this teach us? This teaches us why it's important to never give up on your pursuits in life. Whatever you're going through, you can always overcome it. Obviously, we're talking about something in regards to fitness in the gym. You're always going to have things that come in your path and stray you away from what you're supposed to do. But as long as you take them on the chin, continue to go on, you will get there eventually. That can be something as simple as having a birthday that's going to take you away from your diet when you're supposed to be cutting. Or it could be something even bigger in life. Let's say you're trying to buy a house and some unexpected bill comes up and it sets you back a few months. Don't give up, keep going. Whatever you go through, you can always go through it. You just have to keep pushing. You never know how far away you are from achieving what you want, and you never will if you give up too early. Whatever you're going through, you can overcome it. And never be afraid to ask for help. Pride is something that gets in the way of a lot of people's ambitions and goals because they want to be self-made. Nobody is self-made. Everybody always had help. Vegeta is a prime example of this. Saiyan pride, always wants to do it by himself, has to be the best, denies help from others. But when he does finally get help, they manage to defeat Boo. He managed to ascend himself. Never be afraid to take help from the relevant people. You can learn from literally anyone in life. Take advice from people who are experienced in what you want to do. They've been through the hardships, they know the errors, so they'll help you avoid those small errors. Or even if you have to embrace some of the mistakes, you're only going to learn from it, it's only going to make you better. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a pretty long one. Dragon Ball Z and other anime, they're really good. They're not just some random cartoons. I think they have a lot of life lessons in them to apply and everyone can relate to. So that's why I always advise them if you're watching with your kids, or when I have kids, they're going to be watching Dragon Ball Z for sure. If you like this video, make sure you like and share it. Drop me a comment below of what you thought of it and any other topics. Also, some more video idea suggestions would be helpful too. Let me know what topics you want me to cover next, whether it's anime, fitness or anything else. And if you want to have a sick transformation and look like one of the Z fighters, look like Goku, look like Vegeta, or even just be healthier, become the best version of yourself, I do have coaching slots available for my online coaching. Here are some of the results now on the screen. If you want to apply for this, you can either email me on my email, which is going to pop up here. You can message me on my Instagram, which is up here. You can even comment below. Let me know. I do have slots available, so if you want to get in the best shape of your life, let me know.